Welcome to partialarc.com. Don't do that.
I'm here to save the day. I'm here to save the day.
Soon I will be invincible. Because comics.
Welcome to Because Comics. This is episode 79. I'm your host, Jay Jones, and I'm joined by my co-host, the well-measured Mike Christensen.
I come in equal portions.
Yep.
Nope, that's not even... I mean, I also have a very measured temper.
Yeah, there you go.
It works in both contexts,
It does.
I would say. Right now, I would say that I'm approximately 9 liters of mucus.
Oh, gotcha.
Because I'm very ill.
Yes, you do look very ill, which makes a person like me in the same room recording with you very happy.
Yeah, you're sitting like as far away as you can get in this room.
But shall we talk about comics?
Hey, let's get started on comic books. Oh, this is the part that I usually do, right?
Yeah, usually.
So I'm always like, hey, pull lists are a thing you can do in comic book stores, where you go to comic book stores and you're like, I would like you to let me know the next time a comic comes in of this name and stuff, and like set it aside for me so like I can come back like whenever I kind of want to.
And the guy goes, but we don't have a system for that.
And you go, you don't? Well, let me tell you about pull lists. And he's like, oh yeah, that's right, I work at a comic book store, and
True.
that's a thing. And Jay, what is your pull?
Well, the comics you should be reading is called Providence by Avatar Press. It's written by Alan Moore, which I feel like some people know about.
I've heard of him.
Yeah.
He did that one comic with those guys in it.
Yeah, that's true. And it's drawn by Jacen Burrows. And this is a really interesting comic, not only because I don't think I've heard of Alan Moore writing a comic in a little while, and if not a lot of people are familiar with Alan Moore, you are in maybe abstract separate ways. Like Alan Moore wrote Watchmen. Mm-hmm. Alan Moore wrote V for Vendetta.
That's true too.
Alan Moore wrote Swamp Thing, which is still a thing. And he has written some beautiful, amazing comic book works.
League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
That's true. That's another one. Oh, I love League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. And the movie too, so take that.
I was about to say, his adaptations have not been kind to him.
Yeah, not been kind to him. He's not happy with any of them.
No,
surprise,
it's true.
surprise.
He wrote some good Superman comics. More stuff, probably.
He's great. But, I mean, the thing that people also most know about Alan Moore is that he's kind of like a reclusive, crazy wizard man. And
he really is.
And Alan Moore, his current run that he's working on, called Providence, this comic I'm about to tell you about, is a bit about the Cthulhu mysteries, which works pretty well for a guy that looks like a crazy wizard man.
He looks like Gandalf had a baby with Brian Blessed.
Yeah, pretty much. And the guy's genius writer. And I immediately had to pick this up. If Alan Moore's writing like a Cthulhu-esque tale, I'm like, well, I mean, I got to see whatever comes out of this guy's brain. So it's very enjoyable. I don't want to speak about too much of the story because obviously anything Cthulhu-esque or H.P. Lovecraft-esque is better kind of, I believe, unfurled in the story. Because I feel a lot of those stories, the intrigue about it, because it is all about this kind of creeping cosmic horror, is that peeling back of the onion, peeling back the different layers of what is real and what is not real, and kind of slowly working your way down that psychological winding staircase metaphors. And basically, with this comic, we start off meeting our main character. His name's Mr. Black. He is a journalist at the Herald in New York City, and essentially we are following Mr. Black's investigation of this made-up tome. It's not real. It's called the Sous le Monde, which is French for Under the World. And apparently this is a book that was published a while ago that got around, and in the society pages and things that got out across different newspapers, that people who had read this book were killing themselves.
What era is this, did you say?
This is the early 1900s.
Okay, that's what I thought.
And people were getting around, and some people had killed themselves because of reading this book. So there's a bit of intrigue, and he's going out for an article he needs to write that, like, hey, maybe I'll get a little bit more investigation. Maybe I can fill out the half page left on the newspaper today and get a little bit more info about this Sous le Monde. And this investigation starts to take him down, as I said before, the winding staircase of intrigue and cosmic horror, because obviously there's a little bit more behind this book than just a couple crazy rumors. It takes him out of New York. It takes him to different locales and meeting very eccentric, very interesting people. And I really am enjoying the story so far. Again, if you like that Lovecraftian Cthulhu creeping horror, and I don't mean like horror in the sense of like gore. There hasn't been really anything like that. It's that that psychological cosmic horror. And it's really, really enjoyable. And Alan Moore is a phenomenal writer. And what's really interesting about this comic as well is each issue ends with a handwritten 3 pages kind of journal of the main character. So we get to see Mr. Black's own internal thoughts at the end of each of these issues of like the thoughts of the day or the thoughts of like what transpired. And it's a very interesting insight into the character, and it does look like how it was done in the comic is actually like handwritten, so it's really interesting to see that type of calligraphy. But yeah, I'm really enjoying the series, and I highly recommend it. Providence by Alan Moore and drawn by Jacen Burrows.
Alan Moore looks like Rasputin if he was still alive, having somehow survived the assassination in 1916.
Yeah, he's a magical creature, man. But
and as if his beard has been growing that whole time.
Yeah, that's true. I don't think he's ever trimmed it. He's
actually, it only goes down to like his pectorals. That's not that bad.
They're gonna be like, it only goes down to his feet. Anyways,
no.
So Mike, that was my pull. What is your pull?
My pull is a comic from Boom Studios called Godshaper. It is written by Simon Spurrier, and the art is by Jonas Goodface. And I will say it is set in the present day, but also not really, because it's not our present day.
Good.
Because in the 1950s, for reasons we don't know, all the power sources failed, but instead everyone woke up with a little god next to them. So those
what?
And these gods function as sources of power and resources, and they each have individual powers, and they gain more powers through more belief, which is a form of payment.
What?
And so they basically function as currency. So if you have like a big god next to you, like a 7-foot tall dude, it's like, yeah, you're pretty wealthy. And you've got like a tiny little bitty one, that's sort of a symptom of your status. And not even just a sign of your status, a symptom of your status. Like the more status you lose, the smaller your god gets, and the smaller your god gets, the more status you lose, and things like that.
Now, is it just worship from that individual person? Like if everybody has their own god, when
People
you only
make
worship your own
payments
god?
in prayer and beads.
Oh.
Beads is noted as like the currency, but it seems to just be prayer that is measured by some arbitrary scale, probably not arbitrary, some scale of beads.
Interesting. So like if I were, like for example, if I ran a coffee shop and like I was doling out coffee, people would come up and to pay me, they would say like, your god is so merciful. And then like my little god would get slightly bigger.
Yeah, or maybe not even that different in size, but like might gain different abilities. It's odd. It's still only one issue is out, so still getting a little bit of a sense of it. But some people don't have gods, and they are pretty much looked down upon as they have no real status, except they have the ability to shape other gods. Think of them as sort of the IT for other gods.
Weird.
And that means that they are reviled but necessary. And we're following a character who is a shaper and who seems to be traveling with a god and doesn't have one. Like, it's not his.
Does this god have a person?
No, this god doesn't have a person.
So this god is by himself and this person's by himself.
Which means this god, and by the way, all the gods don't look human. They don't look like, Aphrodite or whatever. They look like kind of like cartoon characters or the ghosts from Ghostbusters or whatever. Like, they have, little colorful identities and things, and they can be redesigned by shapers. So like this one big lizardy guy gets reworked and stuff, so he's more like an orange rhino looking dude with extra arms and stuff. Because there are trends and fashions just like there are with anything else.
Are these gods completely made up gods, or are they like, oh, he's got Zeus, or he's got...
Oh, no, they don't even have... I mean, they're not usually referred to by names, just like my god and things like that. This god character. It is an allegory in a few pretty explicit ways.
Yeah.
But this one that is traveling with our main character doesn't have a person with him, and which means it should be gone. Like, without worship, like, it should not be around anymore. Like, it should no longer exist. And then Annoy, the main character, seems to be traveling with him, and they're like just sort of two swindlers just sort of making their way through the American Midwest. But it's interesting because the culture is very much like, it's reminiscent of the culture of like the 60s. There's something akin to the beatnik movement. There are things akin to things that we know, but it's not that time of history. It's different. Like it's been 50 whatever years. It's 2017. There have been wars that gods have been a part of. As your basically ally in battle, and like war still sucks all the same. Even when everyone's got a little magic companion. And there's this sort of underground movement that this character is a part of, and it's a really interesting world that is really being established right now. And I encourage you guys to check it out. Godshaper by Boom Studios, written by Simon Spurrier and art by Jonas Goonface.
It sounds awesome. I'm definitely going to check it out.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, those were our polls, and that'll take us to our main segment. Mike, kick things off.
Batman, the Laughing Fish. I should clarify, Batman is not a laughing fish. This is a Batman story.
He didn't change his persona?
Nah. It's sort of the opposite of what he is.
Oh, okay.
In every way.
That makes sense.
Because he doesn't swim around a lot.
That's true.
and he
It's his
doesn't-
one weakness,
and he
known
doesn't-
in every comic.
And he doesn't laugh that much. No, he's a good swimmer. Remember that time he swam around and fought a shark?
That's true.
It was great. This is Detective Comics number 475 to 476, written by Steve Englehart, pencils by Marshall Rogers, inks by Terry Austin. This is a classic Batman Joker story. It has been adapted numerous times. It showed up in the animated series as an episode. It did indeed.
Was it in Batman vs. Superman?
No. That would have been nice. Actually, no, we would have gotten Jared Leto, and I don't think that would have been that
ideal.
much. I don't know if that would have been the way to go either.
Was it in one of those Tim Burton movies?
You know what? A little bit.
Really?
A little bit.
All right, I'm intrigued now.
The story opens with Batman swinging around and swinging into the bedroom apartment area of Silver St. Cloud, his girlfriend, who's sitting there in a towel, brushing her hair, as people do.
Yeah.
And he knows that she knows who he is.
Okay, I was going to say otherwise it'd be very concerning.
Well, I mean, it's still concerning because he's not saying it. He's like, I think you had something you wanted to tell me the other day. And she's like, no, I don't think I did. And he's like, are you sure? And she's like, oh, well, I mean, I'd never seen that Deadshot guy before. That's not what I meant. Well, I don't know what to tell you. I think you've made a mistake. And he's like, maybe she was upset about something else. I really shouldn't just come out and say it first. Cause
do you know that I'm Bruce Wayne?
Yeah.
Just wanted to clarify.
Shouldn't start with that because I could be talking about something else. And then that would be like way worse. And she's like, well, if you could leave me alone because I have a date coming. Bruce Wayne's coming to pick me up. He's like, yep. I gotta go then. We'll talk later. And he swings away, and she says, like, as she collapses to the ground, like, he knows, but, like, what else can I do? How do I tell him, like, I know that you're my boyfriend? It's like, all right, so this is what she's upset about.
Right.
And she gets a phone call from Bruce, and we see, like, on a wide shot, like, Batman silhouette inside of a phone booth.
Interesting.
So, like, he just went to a phone booth and, like, called her. Still in Batman clothes. So, like, if someone walked by, it's just Batman at a phone booth.
Just chilling, making a phone call.
Yeah. He's like, oh, I'm just going to be a little late. Sable and Silver. Sorry. Silver is her first name. That's Silver St. Cloud. That's right. And she's like, oh, it's okay. Like, I have a headache, so maybe we'll just postpone. It's all good. And so she hangs up, and Batman keeps swinging around and thinking, like, well, I don't know, man. Life's crazy. And someone's like, Batman, Batman, Batman. And he swings down to the docks, and this fisherman's like, our fish, all their faces are white, and they have red lips and big smiles. Like, they got the Joker's face on them for some reason.
It's not good.
And it's not just my fish. It's all the fish that everyone caught here.
Wait, what? Oh, in Gotham.
No.
In the world?
Along the eastern and western seaboard.
My God.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Jay. Does Joker strike you as someone who does things by halves?
I guess not.
Anyway, that's pretty much the dominant news story that morning.
Oh, is it?
For reasons that I think...
That all the fish in America look like clownfish?
Yeah. Well, they don't... Well, clownfish is a thing.
Well, you know what I mean.
Jokerfish is, of course, the term that they use.
That's right.
At high noon in Gotham City, some armed gunmen break into the copyright office and clear the way for their boss, the Joker.
Right.
Who walks in and speaks with the man named... what is his name? Francis. Mr. Francis, who is the clerk there, and explains, like, well, I'd like to make a patent. I'd like to go ahead and copyright my Joker fish because everyone needs fish.
And it's all going to be Joker fish from now on.
It's all going to be Joker fish from now on. As I was saying, everyone's talking about my Joker fish. They all recognize the face. It's my fortune, even on a flounder's fizz. And since I plan to continue secretly dumping the chemical that gives the fish my face, the little finnies are permanently identified with me. No matter what they once were, they're just Joker fish now. So, once we fill out all the tedious copyright forms, I'll get a cut of every fish sale in America. A nickel every fish sandwich, 50 cents for fillet of sole, millions of dollars a day to finance my frankly hedonistic lifestyle. And all so simple. What a joke. And the guy's like, fish are a natural resource. Like, you can't really...
You can't copyright fish, man.
He's like, what? But the fish share my unique face. If Colonel What's-His-Name can have chickens, they don't even have mustaches. And you deny this to me, you can see why I'm forced to crime. You have until midnight to change your mind, Francis. If you don't, you'll be the poorest fish of all. And dead as a mackerel. Ha ha ha, laughs and walks away. I can't do my Joker laugh today, guys. I just can't.
Fair enough.
It's not bad generally, but I can't today. And he goes outside and he's like, get back to dumping, boys. And look at the other crews. I've just begun to fight. And one of his goons is like, what are you going to do, boss? I have another matter to attend to, Blue Eyes. And by the way, mind your own business. And he shoves that guy into traffic.
Oh, wow.
And he gets hit by a truck and dies.
Okay.
I mean, presumably dies. Certainly doesn't walk away.
Yeah, certainly doesn't rejoin the gang.
I would assume no. We cut to Rupert Thorne, who is the president of the city council and also hates Batman and put out a bounty on Batman's head.
Oh, not nice.
Also a, corrupt business person guy.
Get his hands in a lot of cookie jars.
He's getting a little bit on the take, if you know what I am saying.
I gotcha.
And he wants to know Batman's secret identity. And apparently recently he tortured Hugo Strange to try to find out, and Hugo Strange died.
Whoa!
Which did not get him the answer he was hoping it would. Which
It only got him a felony!
Not if he didn't get caught.
That's true.
It does also, though, get him the weird thinking that, Hugo Strange is around still, as he, sees him somewhere, and then, he's not there, and he thinks he's going insane. Does not help when he goes to the bathroom to splash some water on his face. So what happens in this one is he doesn't see Hugo Strange, but, his assistant comes over and is like, oh, right, that guy I know. That guy I've known for years.
Just a regular human, not dead person.
All right, but yeah, I've known him for 45 years, but I don't know how I could be freaking out. And then the Joker comes out of one of the stalls.
Oh, boy.
And I don't think that helped his constitution that much.
Nope.
And basically tells him, hey, I'm aware that you've been putting out this bounty to find out Batman's secret. You better stop, because I don't want anyone to know Batman's secret. You're protecting him? The Joker must have the Batman. Nay, the Joker deserves the Batman. What fun would there be in humbling mere policemen? I am the greatest criminal ever known, Joker laughed. And for anyone else to destroy the Batman would be unworthy of me. So stop trying, Thorne. If Hugo Strange's knowledge died with him, it was your lucky day. The matter is closed. And Rupert Thorne says, what if Strange didn't die? Not completely. And he starts laughing and runs out the building. And he does not seem to be Joker gassed.
Right, he just seems to be definitely going mad.
Just losing his mind. And he grabs his driver and pulls him out of the car and just starts driving his own car away alone out of Gotham. He's having some trouble. Anyway, remember G. Carl Francis, that guy who works at the patent office?
Of course.
All the cops are hanging out at his place because Joker put out an ad on the news that was like, I'm going to kill this guy unless I get my copyright.
I mean, is he going to get Employee of the Month? I think he should. I mean, he really is a stickler for those rules when faced with death.
I mean, I guess. It's not really his call.
I guess.
But yeah, he should get some sort of.
He could have at least been like, I'll try to put it through.
He should definitely get some sort of hazard pay.
Yeah.
I think that'd be fair.
Workers' comp.
But anyway, the cops and Batman prepare the scene and make sure all right, let's check everything. Let's make sure there's no way that Joker could get in. And Batman's like, there's still definitely a way he's going to be able to get in, but I don't know what it is.
Batman, Joker's never called a hit on someone and then totally done it, right?
Yeah.
No, never. Definitely not.
But he's thinking all the water's being brought in from the police lab, he's eaten nothing since the threat, the house is surrounded. What haven't I covered? What am I not thinking of? Because there's something. And he's running through everything's mind, and Francis is like, Batman, tell me, I've heard that... he sounds like Morty.
Yeah, he does.
But sir, the Penguin, the Scarecrow, and the Riddler kill people who get in their way sometimes. But I'm just a paper pusher. I don't make the laws. Why me? And Batman says, if not you, then someone else, Mr. Francis. The Joker's a time bomb, and every so often, he just has to explode. And as if on cue, a thing the Joker probably could do on purpose, because he does love being on cue. The room fills with gas.
Oh boy.
And Batman grabs a thing off his belt and just shoves it in Francis's mouth and is like, all right, I can hold my breath, but like this dude probably can't.
This guy's gonna freak out immediately.
But this guy starts...
Everything's secure in here, sir, except for all these tubes in the walls. But, rooms have tubes, I guess. All right, everybody, clear out.
And as the clock is hitting midnight, Francis starts shaking and convulsing and drops to the ground.
Oh,
And a big old smile on his face.
sad.
And the cops are like, well, but like, not even all of us, like a lot of us didn't have masks. This guy had a mask and he died. So like...
Was it on Batman's utility belt?
What? The mask that the guy had on? Yeah, it was on Batman's belt.
But I mean, like, was Batman's belt compromised?
Well, Batman realizes this is some sort of binary compound. So when the Joker was in the guy's office, he gave him the first part of the compound. Probably when he slapped him in the face, because it's the thing that he did. And then when this gas hit, it triggered that stuff that was already in his bloodstream.
So he, like, pre-planned that he was probably going to murder this guy.
Yeah, of course he did.
Or I like the crazier thought that the Joker is always at all times prepared to murder someone in a crafty way.
Well,
so he is always preparing with this binary gas stuff.
Pretty much. I mean, either way it works, certainly.
Man. Gotta appreciate. Pretty good plan.
Yeah. And then he comes on the news and he's like, hello, late night lovers and lovers of the late show. G. Carl Francis is dead, as I vowed. But I still don't have what I require. A legal claim to your new improved Joker fish. If that doesn't change by 3 a.m., the number 2 bureaucrat will feel my wrath. It's like he's going down the hit list.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Rupert Thorne is driving out of Gotham, some 300 miles to the west, and he comes upon a car that is stalled, and a lovely young lady who needs a ride, Silver St. Cloud.
Oh boy.
And they've actually met. They met at one of Bruce Wayne's parties. So Sable hitches a ride with like the person who's going to pay like just so much money to find out
Sable
that thing
or
that,
Silver St. Cloud?
Silver St. Cloud. Silver Sable's a Spider-Man character, and I'm sorry, it's just going to keep happening. It doesn't help that they are both silver-haired, beautiful young women. So I can't help you guys. It's just going to happen. I'm not even like that amount of sick where like that would happen. It's just like
Spider-Man is facing off against the Joker, and
sorry guys, Silver Sable was in cartoons and Silver St. Cloud wasn't. Unless she was. I don't know. Anyway, number 476, The Sign of the Joker, is the next comic book. And we see that we are in the house of the next guy, whose name I don't remember. But whatever, we'll figure it out in a minute.
you mean the next federal target?
Yeah, exactly. And there's like driving rain in Gotham this night, and thundering and lightning. And, the commissioner's like, oh, it's Joker weather. But you know what else, Commissioner? It's tailor-made for him, and we see Batman, like, looking out the French doors, like, as the rain pours down. And then
lightning cracks in the distance.
Pretty much.
Dope bat silhouette.
And he closes the door, and this guy, Mr. Jacen is his name. And he's actually pretty composed at the moment. But Batman is, not saying anything, but just sort of watching everybody, and they're all like, all right, it's, like, 2 minutes to 3, so, like, what's gonna happen? I guess we'll see. And then the cat door pops open, and they're like, oh, what's going on over there? Oh no, it's just the cat. Oh, the cat's carrying something. Cat's carrying a Joker fish. Cat's got a Joker fish. Oh, it's a Joker cat now. And the cat turns,
it's a Joker cat?
as the cat drops the fish, it turns and smiles and has a big red lips.
Ooh.
And it jumps, and it jumps at Batman, and it scratches Batman. And Batman drops to the ground with a big old smile.
Oh, no.
And he's dead. But that wasn't Batman.
Oh, shit.
That was Mr. Jacen.
Oh, darn.
And Mr. Jacen pulls off the cloak off of Batman's body, reveals Mr. Jacen, reveals that he's Batman, because they tried to do a little switch to make sure, like, hey, if a person comes in here, they will get it wrong.
They'll attack Batman.
But you know what they weren't prepared for? Mr. Jackson's cat to be the assassin. I don't think they thought that would happen.
Wow.
And obviously the cat knows who its master is. So, like, oh well.
Damn.
Hey, Joker's back on the TV. And they realize, like, nothing's broadcasting right now. So he's got, like, his own thing going on where he's, like, patching into the radio waves or whatever you call it. TV stations? Airwaves, probably.
Airwave sounds good to me.
Oh, boy, it sure is 2017.
It is.
We don't use those anymore. But Bruce is very angry when he hears this message from Joker that says, Hello there, Batman. Thomas Jacen is dead, as I vowed, but I still don't have my legal claim to Joker Fish. If that doesn't change by dawn, the next commission member will feel my wrath. The Joker has spoken. Joker laugh. And Batman slams the French doors open so hard, I think they were closed. All the glass breaks, and the handle just goes sailing into the air.
Jeez.
He's very mad. It's all right. The guy who owns them is dead. And he goes off to investigate. And as he's running through the woods, free of his restrictive disguise, his blood singing in his veins, the Batman returns to his element, and he's running through the woods, and he sees a shimmering form, and it looks like Hugo Strange.
Well, that's odd.
And then he goes, oh, no, he's gone. It wasn't Hugo Strange. Weird. But there's no footprints. The grass isn't even bent. And wait, what's here on the ground? A vapor analysis meter has been left for him. By someone who clearly wants to help in some way. But we don't know who that is, and we won't find out in this issue. Sorry, I'm not gonna reveal it in this episode because I haven't read the other comics yet.
Oh,
I have not actually read Steve Englehart's run on Batman.
it sounds very enjoyable.
It's a classic. It's like one of the most classic Batman runs, and it's pretty short. It's only like 20 issues at most.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, surprising. Anyway,
That's an easy read.
Joker is in his new hideout, which I think is in a crypt. Based on the establishing shot.
Oh, wow.
But he's just laughing to himself. He says, the police are completely at bay. The Batman is baying at the moon. No one can beat the Joker. Soon now. Soon they'll see it my way. They'll know what I mean when I say, today the American fish and tomorrow all the fish in the world. But what if everyone stops eating fish? I hadn't thought of that. What if they all conspire against me? Leave my Joker fish in the sea? But no, that would never work. The vegetarians wouldn't go along. And anyway, I could use my chemicals on cattle. Joker burgers, outrageous.
Oh, boy.
Oh boy, indeed.
Joker corn. The spreading, the ears look like, teeth. So you could have big old
That actually works.
Joker teeth.
That actually works pretty well.
Yeah.
Hey, we'll write the next Joker storyline.
Yeah. We'll
Yeah.
make it about corn.
Cool. Meanwhile, in the car, Rupert Thorne and Silver St. Cloud are both pretty deep in thought about their own things that are going on. And Silver's trying to figure out, what do I do? About this whole, he probably had a pretty good reason for not telling me. He definitely had a pretty good reason for not telling me.
Hey, Rupert, listen, I'm running something through my mind. If, let's say if your boyfriend was Batman, not that mine is, Bruce Wayne, my boyfriend. If he was Batman, what would you do?
And as they are driving, they hear a little thing on the news that talks about, the Joker terrorizing and the Batman's trying to save him and stuff. And Rupert turns it off and he's like, Batman, blah, 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 whatever. I don't like the Batman. We'd be better off without the Batman. And she's like, hang on. I know that you're not really as lily white as you seem to be. The way I hear it, you and your council have been grafting off Gotham for years. You've got a whole political machine to keep you elected by hook or by crook. And he's like, I don't just have to stand for this. I'm due some respect. Nobody who puts the Batman down is due anything. I bet you're behind this campaign to have him thrown out of town. Thorne, that one man has given his life to Gotham. The city, the people, he's our avenging angel. They say nobody cares about the city anymore, but he does. And Rupert pulls over. They are way out in Bumble hell, who the hell knows where. And he's like, get out. You're done. You're walking from here.
So he kicks her out of the car?
Kicks her out of the car. They're out by, Akron. They are...
Far, far away.
They are certainly nowhere near anywhere they were going anywhere. But you know what? She does find a barn. Not even a barn, actually. It is a little airfield. A little house that's got a little airplane in it. And she can charter a plane because fortunately the guy's awake at 5 in the morning.
Yeah, wow.
I don't know, weird. Anyway,
Gets up early for those flights.
Apparently, in the rain. I mean, he's inside, but is he gonna fly today? I don't know.
I guess.
Apparently, he is because she's gonna charter a flight. Meanwhile, Rupert Thorne is driving and he sees an image of Hugo Strange out on the side of the road, and that image of Hugo Strange looks like a hitchhiker, but then it turns out, oh no, that's Hugo Strange. Oh no, he's flying towards me. He's in my car. He's strangling me.
Oh boy.
And Hugo Strange says, my spirit couldn't rest until we settled our score, Rupert Thorne. Now we shall both rest in peace.
Oh.
I'm going to cut away from that for a minute. 2 hours later, back in Gotham, just before dawn, Batman and the Commissioner are, hanging out. They're waiting for, something to happen, and the room is full of cops. And Batman's looking around. He's like, hang on, that guy, that cop. And the cop's like, I'm the Joker. It's cool. And he pulls off his mask. He pulls off his clothes. When he finds out, sure enough, I'm here.
You got me, Bats.
And he sprays acid out of his badge, the thing he was planning to do as a like hidden cop. Be like, oh, I'm gonna walk over here. I'm a regular cop. Acid splash. But of course, he's not really near his target, thanks to them fighting in the living room of this apartment and not anywhere near the target. And they start fighting and they run out the window and they start running around on the fire escape. And down on the street just below, a cab pulls up and it's Silver St. Cloud.
Whoa, what?
She managed to get back here because of that flight that she chartered, and she got in a cab, and they knew where he was gonna be. They knew where Batman was gonna be because, like,
So Silver St. Cloud came to, like, help Batman?
came to talk to him, I guess, and then like sees him running out on the fire escape chasing the Joker, and the two of them are fighting on this like rainy, slick fire escape as lightning flashes in the background. You know, Joker's just trying to get his bearings and trying to run up, but he's still like mocking Batman as he goes, like, nice weather for fish, don't you think? I'm so in tune with the times. Next week I'm licensing this face to rock bands. He's got a real like mind to make some money.
He does. He's got a really good marketing person on his team.
It seems that way. Apparently that wasn't the guy he shoves in front of traffic.
Yeah, of course not.
And as he's running up to the roof, he says, "You can't be the Joker, fool. The Joker is Trump." I want to remind you, this comic came out in 1975. In the old days, court justices were held in high esteem. Even the kings envied their freedom to do whatever came into their heads. Everything goes to pot. Batman realized, like, he's just trying to get to more secure footing. He's trying to get to the roof. Like, you know, he is, in some ways, as sane as anybody. Except for me for going after him. And he runs up the thing, up the ladder, and they start running from rooftop to rooftop. And Joker runs onto a hanging beam out by a construction site. Which I guess this steel beam was just like left hanging overnight?
Hanging out there?
I guess. Or
They didn't follow a lot of good safety protocols.
Or they've
for
already
this
started
construction
work.
site.
I mean, it is almost dawn at this point.
Hey, it's early enough for someone to charter a flight. So
That's true. That's true. And they start fighting on this swinging steel beam. Joker, you lunatic. There's no place you can go from here. I can go over your dead body, Batman. Lovely weather for fish, isn't it? Or did I say that? I want you to hear all my best lines before you do your dive into the damp sponge. And he sprays acid. And it's like, oh no, that's going to be real bad. And Batman dives out of the way and just jumps to freedom. And as he jumps, lightning strikes that steel beam that's hanging there.
Oh,
and,
boy.
Joker like flashes with electricity and falls into the water below.
Oh.
And long moments later, Batman makes his way down and sees no sign of anyone crawling out and thinks, you know, I mean, that could really be it. But also, I've thought that before.
Yep, that's it for him.
So he's probably, he's finished for now. And Silver St. Cloud approaches. They're alone. You know, she's managed to find him alone and says, like, don't say anything. I have something to say to you. Maybe I know what you wanted me to say the other night about what I've learned of you. Maybe I came here to tell you that I love you. But just now, as I saw the Batman in action, not as a news item on TV, not as a mysterious hero I've always admired, I saw you, the man inside, the man I love. I saw you fighting with a madman, straddling a girder in the blinding lightning storm. I love you, but I couldn't live with that, never knowing what each night would bring, never knowing when your luck would run out. He starts to protest, say her name, but no, it's over. I can't let it go on any longer. We have to stop before we can't stop, before we can't help ourselves. And then they kiss. And that complicates matters a little bit.
A little bit.
And then she runs away.
It's not your most standard goodbye.
And she runs away, says, don't call me, stay away, please. And as she runs away, Batman's just standing there, and Commissioner Gordon runs up. Batman, great news. The Ohio State Patrol has picked up Boss Thorne. They say something scared him out of his wits. He's babbling continuously every crime he's ever committed since back in Prohibition days.
Wow.
How old is this
Yeah,
dude?
holy crap.
It's like he wants absolution. He's telling everything, including how he and the council tried to get you. And he's looking down at the river, you know, I think looking for Joker, but just looks down and turns around and says, "You're clear." Batman? Where'd Batman go? And Batman swings away, and it says in the narration, "In the dawning of a new day, he is gone." Finn. Get it? Little fish pun there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
I don't know if that was an intended pun on their part, but it's certainly
So
could
how
and should
long
be.
did Joker stay dead after this comic? 2 issues.
I don't know. I don't know how long he was out.
But yeah, I mean, so this was kind of the run where Joker essentially died.
I mean, that happens all the time.
Yeah, I guess
in like
that's true.
every appearance he makes.
I think I've read a couple issues of him already dying.
Yeah, we talked about it on the show before.
Yeah, we did. But wow, it's a very fun comic. And
Indeed.
I'm very intrigued to know what's going on with Hugo Strange.
Well, maybe we'll do some more parts from this run at some other point.
Yes. All right. Well, great main segment.
Like,
And guys, that takes us to our game. Super-Mundane.
All right.
All right, this is Super-Mundane. This is the game where we would name a mundane task or activity, and we would have to decide which hero of Marvel or DC would be the best and who would be the worst at said role or activity. And Mike, you've got our Super-Mundane for this episode.
I do. I have one. Who would be the best and who would be the worst laser tag player?
Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah.
Deadshot?
He's not a hero.
Damn it.
And-
They're trying to make him a hero.
Are they, though?
I feel
Are
like
they
do
really?
sometimes.
Well, let's just say he doesn't count as a hero.
Hawkeye, but I feel like he only works really well with things that actually have projectile. Like,
Yeah.
like he's really good at like throwing actual things. And lasers, last time I checked, you cannot grab and or throw lasers very effectively.
That's true.
I mean, Bullseye, he's not a hero.
He's not a hero at all.
Man.
Also, projectiles really his thing.
A lot of assassins are bad guys. Strange.
Yeah.
So strange.
Now,
Punisher?
there's the Punisher.
I mean, like, he's a hero? Question mark?
He's a hero, I guess.
He's an anti-hero. I think we've accepted anti-heroes before.
We've accepted him before on this segment before.
And I mean, he always brings like the best tech, so I feel like he'd be like, "Oh, hey man, we invited you to the party. I see. Oh, hey, it looks like you brought your own gear. I mean, you rent the laser tag. You rent the laser tag gear here. You don't need to bring your own. That looks like a Gatling gun. All right, Frank.
But he's also he would really just like it would be regulation, but he would just like be obsessively like making sure like it's clean and it works.
he's like
you know
cleaning
what
his laser tag gun.
Yeah, pretty much.
With military precision.
Because he's not like Batman, where like he is much more reliant on the technology. You know, like Punisher can function totally fine if you just give him a Desert Eagle and let him go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he'll function fine with a snub-nosed 45, you know? Like he'll do the job. But yeah, I mean like if you give him the ability to like, you know, paintball style bring your own stuff, then certainly. But even if you don't, if it's just like here's the equipment, he's going to clean it like methodically and he's going to like check it and recheck it and then he's going to know
like the sight's off by 2 degrees.
He's going to know the blind spots, he's going to know what's up.
That's the thing. I would love to see the Punisher play laser tag because he's such a loner. Like, he just needs to get the job done himself. So I could see him like, hey, Tim, get over here. And he's like, oh, what? And just pulls him in front of him like a human shield and just starts shooting other people.
Oh,
like,
man, he would be the best.
His friend, like, just getting shot in front of him. It's like, oh, God. But, yeah, he'd have, like, the lay of the land. Like, the Punisher would have that all pretty well worked out.
I mean, even if he didn't know the environment when he went in, he would get it. He'd get it down.
Yeah. I just love the idea of like watching him like stare at the scoreboard afterwards, like just in pensive silence, staring at the scoreboard as his like just a million points compared to like the 1,000 beneath it.
Yeah, he would be really good.
Oh wow, yeah. So the Punisher is definitely the best. Who would be the worst at laser tag?
I think Daredevil will be really bad. As I'm thinking about it, I'm just sitting here and I'm thinking like he can't.
That's true.
He can't, like, first of all, they play music loud in there and like there'd be things bouncing around. Like he'd be good at some of it. You'd think he would be good at it. But
like also lasers don't make a sound, so it's not like he's gonna be able to.
They do in laser tag.
But here's the thing, but not trajectory. Like he's good because he knows like where bullets are coming from.
But guns don't make a sound before you shoot them.
I mean, they make a click like from the trigger.
So do lasers, I guess. He would still be able to see the people. I don't know if he is the worst.
Here's the thing. The floors in laser tag places are usually very greasy, so he'd have a very difficult time with that balance, but he's got great balance.
I mean, that's true of anyone who goes in there.
Yeah, I guess
really,
that's true.
Like,
well, I'm just saying because he doesn't have a lot of other things at his disposal. I guess, here's the thing, though. He still has that radar sense, so he'd still like... And the music is kind of creating bouncing waves everywhere.
That's true.
So the music would...
I mean, I think it would mess with him. I think
loud, yeah.
It just depends on his day, probably.
Yeah.
Quite honestly.
If he had a pretty bad headache, it might be tough.
Yeah, it might wreck him a little bit, but like I think
he'd still be able to do
he
it.
might be able to handle it.
He'd get it. I mean, like
It would throw him for a loop, but he would try to basically find a spot that's like more secure and try to focus out and just listen for the equipment.
Now,
'cause that stuff's probably humming. You know what I mean? Like
now, could I say that Batman would be the worst because Batman doesn't use guns?
Batman doesn't use guns.
Batman would refuse. He'd be like, I pass. But he just might not play.
Yeah. I mean, also, if you just let him in there, like he's gonna use people as human shields on themselves, and like.
He might get them to shoot each other.
Exactly, and he's also like
never picking up a gun.
You know, he can fight in weird obstacles and nightclubs and flashing.
And he'd like disappear into the balconies, like above, like or like the rafters, and you're just like, oh, where's Bruce Wayne?
No, he's in here. He'd be totally fine.
Yeah, I guess Batman would be fine. He wouldn't have to pick up a gun, but he'd get other people to shoot each other.
Yeah,
and he'd like disarm like the base. He's like, yes, I disarmed it. obviously.
Who'd be the worst?
You know what? I mean, we say him for a lot of stuff. I was going to say Deadpool, mostly because Deadpool doesn't ever have to think about not getting hit by bullets. Like, he doesn't have the instinct of, if someone pulls a gun on him, he's going to get out of the way. His instinct is to go towards the person with the gun and just keep getting shot.
Yeah, that's true.
He also would be a sore loser and would...
That's the thing,
He
too.
would get real mad because
we didn't just say the best at laser tag. The best laser tag player.
Yep.
And he'd be a real salty loser.
Real sore loser. And, he would not play well with others at all. He would not work in a team environment. And even the Punisher wouldn't. The Punisher would still use that to his advantage to win.
Yeah. Deadpool would be miserable to play with. Mm-hmm. Can we do worse? People who don't function well in a strategy contest. You know what I mean? Like, who don't really think through battle plans. Like, because Deadpool, to his credit, is a lot smarter than we give him credit for.
Right. It's mostly the insanity of his brain gives him some weird kind of edge.
Yeah.
Like, he would win, but only through, like, he would get shot a bunch in the beginning, and then he'd craft a really zany plan, and it would work out.
Yeah. And you'd find out that he had the plan, like, most of the time.
Yeah. He'd have, like, a whole slew of, like, chickens somewhere in the back that he would let loose into the place, and you would go crazy, and he'd shoot you. That happened once. That was a great comic.
The Thing would be garbage.
The Thing?
The Thing would be so bad.
I guess he would be. He's just a big mossy dude.
What? Mossy?
What am I thinking? Oh, never mind. I'm thinking of...
Swamp Thing?
I'm thinking of Swamp Thing, but then I started thinking of Man Thing.
I mean, both of them would probably be bad too, but...
You just turn the corner and then you'd be like in a swamp. You'd be like, oh, shit.
Damn it,
Swamp Thing.
I think The Thing would be bad.
Yeah, The Thing would be bad. He'd be really bad because, like, he wouldn't be able to squeeze down most alleys. Like, 'cause there's, like, tight quarters in there, and that dude is, like, a walking column.
Yeah, there's
like,
no way to hide The Thing.
Oh, definitely not. And, like, he's not particularly agile or quick.
No.
He would just get shot up, and then he'd get real frustrated.
Yeah.
And he's loud.
Yeah.
Like, you know where he is.
You know exactly where The Thing is.
Yeah,
the Thing would have the worst score.
Oh, my God. He would lose for sure. He's basically like a wall. He's basically a wall that you can shoot.
I'm imagining him playing with, his niece and nephew, and taking them to laser tag, and he would just get run over.
Oh, my God, yes.
They would run a train on that kid. No.
It'd be bad.
Yeah, man. I think The Thing would be just absolutely terrible at
And
it.
he'd be a real hoot to watch lose.
Oh, man, he'd be salty.
All right, perfect. Looks like we've got our best and worst. We've got our Punisher for best, and we've got The Thing for worst. Well, guys, that was episode 79 of Because Comics. We'll be posting a new episode every other week. If you'd like to download more episodes or check out other similar podcasts, head over to partialarc.com. Of course, you can email us any questions at becausecomics@gmail.com or follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Tumblr, all at Partial Arc. And be sure to check out more content from our comic boy wonder Mike Christensen at partialarc.com, where he writes articles every Tuesday and Thursday. Thanks for listening, and remember...
Friday Night Quests, that other podcast we do.
Oh, yeah!
Just hit 100 episodes.
100 episodes!
A grand of episodes. Nope, that's 1,000.
Yep, that's way more.
C-note of episodes.
Yeah, there you go.
So, guys, if you're not listening to that show, we recommend that you do.
And now you got a lot of homework!
We have a lot of episodes for you to enjoy. And if you do listen to that show, thank you.
Because comics.